All right, this is our opportunity for the children to come up and have our children's sermon, if we've got any. What happened to Chrissy?
They all went back.
Oh, they're all in the, they're already back there. Well, I'll just give the children's sermon from up here for all of us. So, what we had this week recently will probably make Brother Terry go like this. Okay. Eclipse, eclipse, eclipse. He walked out, which is a good thing, because he said if anybody says eclipse again, he's going to smack them. All right, so eclipse, eclipse, eclipse. So we had the eclipse, and God motivated me to preach on the day the sun stood still. So this is a great day, the day the sun stood still. So I was going to say to the children, what are your thoughts about the eclipse? Now, it's an unusual thing. The eclipse was very unusual. It was beautiful, and I think it was wonderful. And we know that the way it happened will not happen again for 70 years in our area. And so it was a very unusual thing. Told Chrissy that, and she said, well, I'll be 77 when it happens again. That's funny the way she thinks, and I'll be, well, let's see, I'll be in heaven when it happens again. So I thought about, what we're going to talk about today is how the sun did stand still. And so it wasn't eclipsed, but it stood still, which is a unique thing. And it was at the command of Joshua. And Joshua had the faith to see that God's hand was in something. And because his hand was in it, he was able to speak to the sun and say, stand still. And we'll see that in a minute as we go through our sermon. But he had the faith to stop the sun. He knew God's plan, and he knew that God's hand was in it. And so one of the things I was going to encourage the children, I encourage us all to do, is to pray with faith. Pray with faith. We have an example in the Bible of when someone was praying without faith, because they were praying that Paul and that Peter would be released, and then Rhonda, somebody like that, opened the door, went to the gate. His gate bell rang, and she saw him, and she was shocked, and they didn't even let him in the gate, and just ran back and said, hey, he's out of jail. And they said, we don't believe you. They were just praying he would get out of jail, but they prayed without faith, and yet God answered their prayer, because they didn't have the faith, because they didn't believe that it had happened. We get shocked sometimes when our prayers are answered. Joshua was not shocked because he spoke with faith. He prayed with faith. And when he saw it happen, it was just in a course of normal events that it happened, because he knew God's hand was in it, and he prayed with faith. There was a story of a little boy who had looked forward to Easter. And he was making some eggs. He was boiling some eggs. He was going to paint them different colors for Easter. He was going to celebrate, and his dad was with him. And there they were at the stove, and they were boiling eggs. As they boiled these eggs, something unusual happened. They put it in the water when the water was too hot, and they cracked and just exploded all over that pan of water. And to his father's amazement, this young boy prayed with faith, God, will you put those eggs back together? And his father saw it, and a miracle happened, and the eggs went back together. And they boiled perfectly, and the little boy painted them like nothing had happened, because he had such faith that God could put those eggs back together, and God did it. God does miracles. And it was the day that the sun stood still. And we are going to learn more about that and the faith of Joshua as we go through God's word this morning. You know, it also reminded me of a song, Ain't No Sunshine. Now, I love that song, and I sing it every time Lucinda leaves. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this old house just ain't a home when she's gone. And in that song, the singer, who is Bill Withers, has the best version of it. Believe me, trust me, Bill Withers has the best version. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and I know. He says it 26 times. It's the only repetitive thing I like in music. Usually I don't like it when they repeat too much, but on that one, it's kind of fun. He says, I know, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. So we are going to be talking about the day the sun stood still. We find this in Joshua chapter 10 and verse 12. If you would please stand with me to honor the reading of God's word.